That's
yeah,
scary.
yeah, yeah. I thought that was fun.
It's almost Halloween.
Yeah. Where's
Oh,
I got an echo. Hold on.
I hear it.
Is it you or me?
It's you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gone. All right. All right.
Alrighty.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second half of Truth Tuesday with me and.
Where's my surprise? Where's my surprise?
It was the intro. It was the Halloween intro
Oh,
that was used for
oh,
October, but we didn't
I
do it
like it.
just because you're sick, so I didn't get to show it to you. But
Oh, I like it.
it was cute.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Oh, someone is very angry.
Who's angry?
KSS Crypto is angry.
Oh, that's just how he talks.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Is he from who talks like don't people from Australia talk like that a lot? I watched a thing on what was it? It was on like it showed like truckers from Australia or something, and they cuss a lot.
In general, and sailors, they cuss like sailors.
Sailors. We know a sailor, and I don't think he ever cusses.
My best friend he was the Navy SEAL. He cursed, but not that much.
Curse.
But Kiss is Irish, from Ireland, but he lives in Finland. But he told me something that blew my mind. Guess what the number one name is in Ireland?
Name?
The most popular new name in
Sean.
Ireland. That was Muhammad.
What?
That's what I said. I was like, no. He goes, yeah, it's the most popular name in Ireland. It's Muhammad. I said, wow, I would have went with Sean. He goes, used to be Sean a while back. But yeah. Which that goes into a lot of what they're really pushing. You would jump right into it. They're really pushing this how every country, because of the mass migration and open borders and all that, and all the refugees and all, obviously the number one name is Muhammad in Ireland. The landscape of the world has changed because of it, and with the war in Israel, everybody has a bunch of people in their midst that are going to attack.
That's what the fear porn is. I don't know that it's true. What are your thoughts?
See, I absolutely think it is fear porn. I absolutely think that they're going to use it to try to get, just take more control. But then there were like huge, massive, protesters and people in the streets absolutely being anti-Semitic, totally like, yay, good for Palestine that they, did this. Which it's so, everything that's been happening, it's like so wrong, black and white, but then it's not wrong, black and white, like Ukraine. It's totally terrible and evil that, Russia invaded them, and they're 100% wrong. That never should happen. But we broke so many promises with NATO and treaties, and we pushed them, and so it's like they shouldn't have done. They shouldn't.
Ukraine was originally, and most people that live there speak Russian and consider themselves part, and it actually was Russia, part of Russia.
Some people do, but during the Soviet Union, I will cry if I start talking about Ukraine. Because it was like the horrors that country has been through before it got its independence, really. Stalin starved. It was almost a complete genocide, but starved them to death. And while they're starving, they're making the food and growing all the food for the rest of the Soviet Union. They're literally making, growing the wheat, making the bread. everyone says, oh, it's Europe. This is Europe's breadbasket. This is California. They, 90% of this product and this food and everything comes from Ukraine. It's always been that way. It used to be even more rich. What's the word? Which resources. It used to be even more resource rich back in the day, and Stalin literally starved them while making them grow the food and they would get all the food, and then they would just be taken away, and they were starved to death. And
that's the most heartbreaking part, is that the governments, the leaders are making these horrible decisions, and then the people are suffering in all these countries, and that's where peace is the only answer. That
and I've been so disgusted. I think, who was it? It was Tom. I think it was Tom, or no, Jim. Maybe Jim Montgomery or Tom, that they posted on Facebook, or no, some guy posted about some atrocity that happened with Israel or Palestine, and it's that Israel was using white phosphorus bombs, and I was like, war's just disgusting. I said, until we make it unprofitable. And I saw this. I want to show you this video. I want to show you this video. It's a terrible video, but I think it proves my point. So you're gonna have to share it, because I don't know how to get sound.
Okay.
Can I find it?
Is it the one of the guy who's like, you don't care about what's going on in my country until your media told you to?
It's first off, this is one that's just awful. You can share this one while
where are you sending it to?
I'll put it to the private chat.
Okay.
This is awful. So when you're ready.
Oh no.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Senator Mike Lee posted that.
You're gonna make me cry.
There you go.
Okay, hold on. Oh shit. Sorry. I didn't mean to cuss. Hold on. I'm doing something wrong. Hold on. I'm on the wrong tab or something.
Okay.
Why is my wallet popping up for something? Okay. Okay.
انه نفرج اليهود انه احنا مش انه احنا مش شاطرين، احنا قوايا كمان. في ناس بحبوا فلسطين، بدهم يحاربوا وبضحوا بدمهم عشان فلسطين. انا بدي اهزمهم بالحرب، بدي اهزمهم.
بيعلمونا انه الاقصى النا والنا، يعني الحق، يعني النا فلسطين والاراضي كلها النا، لانهم بسبب كذبهم وانتهاكاتهم انهم يقولون انه الهيكل تحت المسجد الاقصى، ولا مره انه يكون الهيكل تحت المسجد الاقصى.
انا اقرا اليهود
بعلمونا ان الصهيونيه هم اعدائنا، وهم اهم شيء لازم يسوي فيهم عمليه.
يعني انهم بيعلمونا بالمدرسه انهم ارهابيين
بيحكوا لنا عن اليهود انهم هدول مش منيح، وهدول بقتلوا قاعدين بشبابنا. بيحكوا لنا هدول غدارين، وبيحكوا لنا انه هدول بغدرونا وهدول مش منيح. اذا بطعن بدعس عليهم، عمل عمليات الدعس، عمليات الدعس، عمليات الطعن والاشتباك المسلح في المخيمات. ايش اكيد هدول العمليات ترفع الراس ولفلسطين. العمليات هاي تاعت الدعس والسكاكين هاي اشي بيرفع الراس لفلسطين. اذا بدك بطلع بستشهد عادي. انا ان شاء الله اساعد الشباب، وان شاء الله اصير مقاوم بالمستقبل مع الدولة الإسلامية.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. That is so terrible. So, sorry, this is the one. This is why I have a question about this. Play this one. This is you need the sound. These are water pipes that Hamas takes out of the ground and turns into rockets.
Do what?
It's
what are you saying? I'm sorry.
Water pipes that Hamas takes out of the ground, turns into rockets. You play it with the music.
جئنا لكم من أرضنا وسمائنا من لج بحر صادحين مكبرين الله أكبر الله أكبر كبروا الله أكبر الله أكبر كبروا سندكهم وفلولهم ونسيء وجها قد وعدنا فاتحين يا ثورة.
This is I don't know that this is true though. This is a lot of marketing.
No, this is a recruitment video for Hamas.
Okay, but remember that you're being shown this because Uncle Cliff is saying that some of this is not true. So I don't believe everything you're being shown.
But you can believe that thousands of rockets came from a place that is just an open air prison. Gaza is it is a walled open air prison. Their 90% of their food is imported. 100% of their energy is imported in water. They have it's a prison. It's a densely walled open air prison that those Palestinians are in. So, except for a little sliver of some with some tunnels at the bottom part of it that's connected to Egypt, they have no way to bring in stuff. So thousands of rockets hit Israel, and they took water pipes and turned them into these rockets. So this is my point now. This is the whole point of this. If we make war unprofitable, it would stop. Why do we pay hundreds of millions or millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars for each rocket that these people are building with water pipes and conventional stuff that they have? I think, and this goes against every capitalism bone in my body, but I think that when it comes to war and weapons like that, profits should be limited. You could only you can only charge 10% profit. If we make arms sales not profitable for like war scale, I think it would stop. People won't put it into it. It's like we talked about with the drug industry. That you come out with a new drug, you can mark it up 10, 20,000%, and then once it's a generic and everyone can sell it, it goes from $600 a prescription down to $7. It's the markup it's price gouging. And I think until we put some kind of limit on the military industrial complex, war is just too profitable. It's obvious.
I think that the truth has to come out about what's really going on first, because the proxy wars that go on and the people that are really making the money from it. Once again, the people that are dying and the places that the wars are happening are not even the ones that are suffering, and the issues that are supposedly the wars are happening. It is about money. Because it's about contracts and old boy system and legacy finance shit, and it's really not about what they say it's about, you know? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I can't even.
This is what, you know, Rick really, it's an ugly war. I've never felt like disgusted by anything like I have with
Yeah, the
this.
regular people on both sides, because it's not what they're saying it is.
But, and then, you know, like we all know BlackRock is getting most of the contracts to rebuild
Right.
Ukraine. They're going to make
Right.
billions or hundreds of
Right.
maybe they might hit $1 trillion or $2 trillion rebuilding that entire country. And that's the worst thing about war. So many parts of it are just the select few people making tons of money, and they don't care. In fact, their agenda is
And
to
they don't
limit the
care.
population. There's too many people. We need to get rid of some people. We can get rid of some people and make tons of money. War is such a
It's
perfect
disgusting to
monster
me.
for these evil people.
For these monsters.
Yeah,
Yes.
it really is, and that's why. I mean, it's one of the oldest phrases to follow the money, but we have to make war less profitable for these people. And usually that is true. Greg, I love this quote. This is America, watch your back, not TV. That is
Right. And that's what this distraction is about. Don't pay attention to what's actually happening in America right now.
Yeah.
I think that's, you're right, Gazoo. That's the biggest, it's just a big distraction right now, because right now America's close to death.
So I had Biden hinted at the draft, at reinstituting the draft, which got me up in arms. You know, I wanted to know if my kids could get called up, what the ages are. So I started to looking into it, and usually it's 18 to 25 that they call up and forced the conscript. So, but as I'm looking into it, you know, because I was someone posted on Twitter that a journalist that he had hinted about it. Someone said something about undocumented, all these, you know, refugees and undocumented people. So I did some digging and found out that if there is a draft, they can go to age 45. By the way, that they do pull that up to age 45, but it's normally at first is 18 to 25. But that is all citizens and immigrants, documented and undocumented. It's documented and undocumented. He called up.
How do they force an undocumented immigrant
At
to do
first,
anything?
that is what got me thinking. The only way is to use ICE or the, you know, the immigration legal arm to round people up. So instead of deporting them, they would send them to boot camp. That's the only thing I could think of logically where that would, where they would be able to do that. But under the draft, it says documented and undocumented immigrants, which are illegal. You know, which what we've had pouring into millions, and it's been a very short time. Millions have come in, and I mean, it's totally conspiracy theory, totally put my tinfoil hat on. But when I read that, it kind of made sense to me. All of the chaos the past 3 years, or 2 or 3 years, with the border and with that, and it kind of got me really freaked out when I read it. And then Luke from Luke We Are Change, the alternative media, he said he was on Tim Pool, and he thinks that we're at a point in human history where it's bad, and we're either going to get real bad, like we get crushed and go to total authoritarian, and we're going to go through a period of like hell, or we're going to make it through it, and this is going to be like one of the biggest moves to liberty and freedom for humans that we've ever had. But we're at this nexus point where it's going to go one way or another. They have jobless claims will be on the rise soon.
Why? What's going on there?
I don't know. It's very weird how
I do feel like it's like in the air. Like
Yeah.
you can feel everyone's on edge. And the banking thing is close. I think it's definitely, that's in Cliff's data. I think by the end of the month, is what I heard last. That I think they're anticipating the bail-in.
you're always saying it's going to happen at the end of the month.
No, I'm not.
Every month, at the end of the month, something's big.
There has been something big of the end of every month, but no, the bail-in I believe is the end of October. There's a what's it called? Not, is it the eclipse, or no? The eclipse just happened. There's some moon thing on like the 28th or something, and I think they're anticipating somewhere around there.
I think it's so weird that we're
Bail-in.
like going to send humanitarian aid to one side and then like troops to the other side. It's such a weird.
Is that the plan?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then I was like the whole world is just in this weird place. Like America, we used to back when it was against the Soviet Union. We had the most powerful navy. We were the only navy. We were the navy. Only in the past decade or two have other countries developed a navy. And what we've done is we've pulled back from, because we used to be the navy of the world. Like that was how one of the ways we beat the Soviet Union is that we became globalists in global trade, and we kept the seas safe so we could have this global trade, and that's one of the reasons why our side won. But we've pulled back now after the fall of the Soviet Union. Our navy's gotten a lot smaller, but no one's up to our scale. But like India has a decent navy, China has a decent navy. There's Russia was the only one that had like a navy. But to do the job of policing the world again, we would need what the guy said, 600, between 600 and 800 destroyers. And we have 70. Because he was talking about there's like a bunch of ships that are in the Mediterranean now. But we've pulled back so much. We do have 10 destroyers in production, but the amount that we would need to be able to do what we used to do, back in the day, we're nowhere near that. So it's an odd time. And they were talking about because there's in the Middle East there's 4 factions, and they don't really like each other. But what was happening is,
But that's been going on for thousands of years.
Right. But so there's the Shiites, which is Iran, and someone else.
That's what I heard today was, and I've heard, I guess, for a few days, is that's the big tipping point, is that Iran's going to enter the Israel, Gaza.
That's what we.
Thing.
That's like our thing.
And then
Iran. And then
if Iran enters, then the U.S. enters, and then that's
there's the Jews,
the tipping point.
And there's the Shiites. Then the other one is like the middle ground one. If you go in chat, you know what the four of them are. The Sunni, that's the Sunni, like the Saudi Arabians, United Arab Emirates, all that. And what has been happening is that the Jews and the Sunnis have started to get along, and are creating this this power alliance, which could totally change, like you said, thousands of years of the status quo. And Iran doesn't really like that, which is one of the reasons why I think that they helped, or that they supplied, the terrorists, which they're not even calling it a terrorist act or a terrorist group, calling them, like, they're changing the, I don't know if you heard about that, but like the New York Times changed it, BBC changed it. They called them a terror group or terrorists. Now they're calling them gunmen or other terms, but they're not using the term terrorist. So I think a lot of the progress that was made in getting these two factions, the Jewish people and the Sunnis, to come together and to work together and have some semblance of peace and coexistence, like that's what they want to upset. And so I think what the plan was, from what I've gathered, is they wanted to do something really terrible to make Israel do something worse to them in blind rage and turn the world against Israel.
They're all hinting, alluding to it, to wipe out Gaza, wipe them off the, like.
Yeah, and that would turn everyone against Israel. That's the goal, and that's what Bin Laden. It was Bin Laden's theory and what he wanted to do with the United States. That's why they say 9/11 happened. It was to provoke. Yeah, it was to provoke the good guys, or the people that have a good following, to overreact and to do something much worse, to turn the world against them. And there's, from what I've gathered, that is the whole purpose of this terrible attack on civilians. Everything is, it's just deplorable. But that's the reason for it, because they know it's going to elicit a response that is overwhelming, that could be worse. And it is terrible. I mean, it's terrible that the civilians are dying. It's all, like I said, black and white, but not black and white. It's like, hey, you're bombing a hospital, Israel. That's you can't do that. That's deplorable. It's terrible. And then they're like, well, they put the rocket launchers, behind the hospital or on top of the hospital, and it's all of a sudden the black and white is gray. It's like you said, it's disgusting. It really
is disgusting. Human life has no value in these sick people. Yeah. Aren't they even people? They're monsters that are not valuing human life. I mean, it's when these dollars count more than human lives, and it's just wrong.
It is, and I think that's a big part of the problem, is that people, they don't value human life at all. And when you're on that, we're talking about, those people. We're just ants, acceptable casualties, numbers, whatever. Like I said, it's the goal to limit the population or make it smaller. They actually think it's like going green or something. But when you see and you hear kids talk about, I'm going to be a suicide bomber, they don't even value their own life. If you imagine, how can you value other people's lives if you think your own life has no value? That that's the most you can contribute is to kill people. It should be, I'm gonna try to make peace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that stuff has to be put into a kid's head. No kid is born racist or hateful or anything. It has to be learned. It has to be learned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're and that's something we're talking about the Navy. If you know who's most dependent on our Navy? China. Can you imagine China trying to, if we didn't keep the oceans safe?
Oh, they couldn't ship all this stuff.
They can't ship anything.
And they're so dependent on export. Yeah, that's a great point.
For money, but and we always make the point that 90% of our prescription or stuff comes from China, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
But they import like 60% of their food.
Oh wow!
They would literally have nobody coming in and no food coming in because their stuff can't go out, and it's such a weird relationship that we have with this. Everyone's like, China's the enemy, China's the enemy. But we're intertwined with them in so much, and they're dependent on us for so much. And we've made ourselves dependent on them for so much.
Wow.
The elites are nothing but eaters. They're like a virus, man. They really are. They really.
Well, and when the whole fact that we see different land masses as enemies when we're all humans living on the earth is really crazy to begin with. Like, why is that a thing?
Yeah, it's there's no racism because there's no race.
Right.
One race. If you really, maybe that's why facts and science have been attacked, where you can say anything is what it's just a.
Yeah, that's a great
what
point.
You perceive it as or what you identify it as. But there's only been one race on this world for a long time. There was two races, and we killed them all. We killed the other race. We're terrible. That's what we do. There was Neanderthals and there was humans, and we got rid of the Neanderthals. But we did also breed with them, so there's some of their DNA in our DNA. But that's a different thing. But yeah, there's only one race. If you boil it down, it's like, I hate those people. Why? Because they're that different.
Fear. It's always based out of ignorance.
They're a different color.
Different.
You take that out of the crayon box when you were a kid. Like, oh, I don't like that color.
But it's always ignorance and uneducated, fear. Lack of understanding. It's just it's heartbreaking. It's just so sad.
And you grew up. We grew up in the South, so you saw like real racism. I never saw.
Oh, I experienced it. I have a black child. I experienced this straight up in my face. I had people tell me, "You should put her in the back and put Cannon in the front because has blue eyes and blonde hair." And my sister about beat the crap out of this one woman. I had to like tear her back from this one woman. Like, I mean, I had black women come up to me and get in my face about how I should fix my daughter's hair. And I've had, I've experienced it in my face.
I never did. Northern racism to me, it's quiet. It's like,
no, in my face, both sides.
He's black. That was the, black.
Oh
And
no.
my
And in
my
fact, my grandfather was very racist.
my grandfather was racist too, but
Yeah.
he never said one thing. But like he would get
Mm.
mad at me for watching the Jeffersons, and I didn't understand why he was mad. You know, he's like, I don't like watching that show. It's like, why? This guy's funny. He's like, look, he's
Yeah.
only like 4 feet tall. It's a grown man. You know, I didn't know. But then I came here, and it's so different. I went to my ex's family, and there's no anger. What I've only seen racism was anger, but when I came here, there was no anger. It's like they're totally different humans, you know, and they use the N-word without malice. Like they just use it instead of black. It was just so weird because there wasn't any anger. There wasn't. I mean, it's like, you know, people get pissed off and they would say the N-word or whatever. That's the only way I ever saw it growing up. And then I came here, and it's just matter of fact. You know, it's a different. You know, they're different people. They have, they smell different. Even they have different, and the stuff that my ex's family would say was just made. It was so bonkers.
Ignorant. Yes.
It was
ignorant.
insane. And I don't know how we got on that, but
I don't know.
Also, when it comes to war in the past, we've talked about this a long time ago. There has to be hatred because the way we are wired, we don't want to kill people. So the only way to do that is to make them not people.
Not be human. Yeah.
Like
but that's where they would come up with like nicknames.
Yeah, the Indians were savages. They're not like us. You know, they're like people, but they're not. So it's like you
dehumanize.
Yeah, that you dehumanize them, or you make them, you know, and that was you can go look at old you know, like military training footage, and that's
but that was part of them pulling people out of the communities that were because they needed to not be able to associate, you know, or have, you know, any kind of connection with somebody that was similar to who they were trying to attack or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's just my heart hurts so much for what's going on in the world right now.
Me too. It's like, have you ever been
it's a heavy feeling.
Have you ever been like depressed about someone else's war? You know, I mean, you can turn it off. You watch the news. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's sad. Oh, this kid's died.
But
you turn it off, and it's done.
But that's where we have to be careful because it is a distraction from what is going on here, and we are at war here in America. We are at a near-death point here in America. The economy,
things are still rough. Things are still bad. Everything is, you know, still needs to be fixed. Like I said, this was done to elicit a bigger response or more heinous response from Israel to make people hate them. That was Osama bin Laden's goal with the, you know, when he came to the United States. Failed miserably. Gave immense power to the United States because we gave up so many freedoms, but it united us and other countries even more.
It brought in the Patriot Act and stole our freedom and made us submit to it. It was a trick.
We gave it up, but
we submitted and gave up our freedom.
Our enemies still were like, oh, that was terrible that we denounced that. You know, do you need any help, America? It was a unifying time globally, which I think was a byproduct of what, you know, they were trying to. They used it as a trick, but it had the opposite effect of what he wanted. With Israel, I don't know, because as soon as it happened, they turned off water, electricity. They said that they're animals. those people are animals. This is what their government said, and we're going to treat them as animals. So that was their reasoning for turning off, water and electricity to the city. But it is just a prison. It's an open air prison where it's like 2 million people are in. I don't know. Someone said it in the chat.
I think it's a distraction.
But I don't know what's coming, but I know their plan is becoming more and more evident. Yeah, people whoever say the experts. I know whatever the plan is, we're seeing it start to come together. Whether it comes to the border and conscription, or the fact that we're wanting to put troops on the ground so fast blows my mind. And Ukraine is still going on. You see Poland pulling away. You see they have you know what's going on in Poland? There's a huge political shift there for them going against the EU when it comes to the globalization stuff. London was overrun with a pro-Palestinian protesters.
I heard about that.
And attacking anyone that was opposing protesters.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hilarious about the Harvard people. You know about that?
Mm-mm.
Well, this group of Harvard students, this big club, there's a lot of them. They put out a letter of how they, they completely stand with Palestine. What they did is, it's justified. So some CEOs want a list of those Harvard students because we want to have it distributed to all major Fortune 500 companies that said do not
hire them.
Do not hire. And now, oh my God!
Wow,
the outcry about that. A lot of those students didn't know what they were signing, and they're just part of the group, and it's only a few people, and it's dude. You have to take responsibility for. No one has to take responsibility. That's one thing I thought with all the judges that have been that go through the process going through Congress. They're like, hey, you tweeted this 3 years ago, about Trump, or you tweeted this, they're like, oh, I was just a different person back then, and I'm going to uphold the law. And it was Kennedy. Kennedy said, I know that you're coached by your attorney and you're told what to say, what not to say. And he laid it all out to where, because I get pissed off watching this stuff. Because they'll literally ask him, what's your favorite color?
Yeah, and then they go, thank you for asking me this. Yes, I remember you said that. Yeah,
and then they won't say anything about their favorite color. So, and when he said that, literally, because I just in my mind, my naive mind, even to this day, after all the years I've been on the planet, I thought those people were just called up to Congress and showed up to answer questions. They have representation before it's like they're being charged with a crime. They have a lawyer. They have representation. They're coached on what they're told, what they can say and what they can't say.
Well, the emails that went back and forth between Gary and Elizabeth Warren with the SEC hearings and stuff, and she was like, okay, well, we're going to ask you this, and then you answer that, and then is this answer okay, and do you like this question? And it's all scripted. It's all bullshit.
It looks like WWE, man. It really does.
Yes, it is.
Everyone made the joke about that and before Trump ran, and then when he ran and won, he literally proved that it is. He was proving that he did stuff with the WWE, and he took the presidency. So it is. And
so then why not have public hearings if we know it is scripted?
Because they're terrible actors, and some of them are so brain dead that they freeze up when asked a simple question, and the people can't handle that. I do think it's really weird that me and you both have the same thought about Biden.
I know, but then there's a there.
WWG1 WGAQ.
Where we go when we go all.
Ah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Q. Okay.
That's Tom.
Yes. I don't know if they had the election yet in Poland, but it was a
I think we all know.
A big one.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. People don't trust their electoral process.
No, I heard today at school one of the moms was telling me that a lot of people are planning on not voting because they don't trust it. Like people are just like, yeah, why bother, you know?
Yeah. Which that's a breakdown of the system.
Well, and that's what I think. That's where the military is the only way, not just for. And I've talked about this with Westwood, but not just for voting, but also with our finance. And I talked about this with Mom too, but with our the money. I think that's the only way if the military takes over our money, because I don't think people trust. Once the banks fail, the military will have to supervise or back or whatever our money as well when the money fails.
Against the military or anything taking control of anything. I think like Trump's idea of the Department of Treasury taking over, having our money backed by something. We have so much oil. I mean, our money could be backed by our oil reserves. It could be.
Well, but oil is infinite. So it has to be something scarce, like gold and silver, and constitutional gold and silver.
Being backed by anything is better than just violence, backed by violence.
I agree.
So we could back it with a basket of our own resources,
assets.
And I think that was his plan. That was of all the theories of what his plan was, to break the banks and to put everything under the Department of the Treasury to make our money sound again. That was like I was hoping that was true. That was one of the best things of all the conspiracy theories out there that I thought.
He did. He put
he was on his way to. He did. He was on his way.
No, he did. He put the Fed under the Treasury, and they had to report to the Treasury.
The Netherlands is a big deal. Everything that's going to happen, and like their plans, they start off in the Netherlands. That's where the farmer strike, all that stuff, everything.
Oh yeah, those were big.
Happens there first. It's like
that's a Nasera thing about the farmers and all that. So that'll be interesting.
That's something I've noticed with the new. There's a feeling of get the old guys out of there, which is I think it's justified. Not so much that they're old, but there's people. The best example I can give is what's her name just died, Feinstein or whoever.
Susan Summers.
I'm not saying Congresswoman.
Feinstein.
Yeah. Now, like a month or Greg told me this on World Boxing Roundtable. Check us out on World Boxing Roundtable on Thursdays.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Greg said, so Feinstein had to sign away her her rights or whatever to get like a custodian over her own finances,
power of attorney.
so they could take care of it. So because she couldn't do it anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but she could do your money and mine.
Yeah, she was still voting.
And
they were telling her, just say yay or ye or whatever.
Yeah, it's
her aide was telling her what to vote.
You can't, like with the laptop, you can't, like, that would have been a worst case scenario 10 years ago. So imagine if this happened. That would wake people up. Imagine if that happened. I've seen the former vice president's son's wiener. That's so weird to me. It's a video online.
Well, I don't want to see that. No.
It's just it's so, like, you can't make it up. The stuff that we're seeing is like it was made up.
It is.
A congressman will have sex with a Chinese spy, and he's on the intelligence committee, and then they won't kick him off.
I know.
I mean, there's like,
it's a bad movie, and we're in it.
You try to come up with something that would be like,
I know.
That's like if this happened, and
I know.
nothing you can come up with a source. You can't come up with anything worse than someone on the intelligence committee having sex with a Chinese spy. That's like, well, it's like with that, Oh, yeah. Well, I hope things.
I'm fully depressed now. We can stop.
Yeah. They are.
It's my birthday this weekend. We gotta get.
You know what? There's a channel called The Fat Electrician.
The what?
The Fat Electrician.
Oh.
And you should go check out his channel. He is a good storyteller, and he tells like these obscure stories about the military, the United States history, and it's the opposite of demoralizing. I was thinking about how important he is.
I love history stuff.
He's the one, like, you talked about the cheese and about the cheese caves and all that, and
no, I don't know about cheese caves.
Yes, you do. I told you about all the U.S. cheese caves, and there's like trillions of tons of cheese we have in underground bunkers.
Oh, you did tell me that. Yeah. Yes, I do remember you talking.
The stories, the story about that one guy that like got shot like a bunch of times. Just all stuff about like.
Okay, that's where you heard that.
Yeah,
okay.
He tells these stories about obscure things in history that.
Okay, tell me again. Fat Electrician.
Fat Electrician, yeah.
We're driving to Westwood,
like
so
things that make you like, man, America is cool. That wouldn't happen in any other country. It makes me feel like undemoralized, whatever.
Oh, good. Well, there's a new thing for kids called the Tuttle Twins, and so I've been having Cannon watch. They have a series for little kids, and then they have a teen, because now Cannon's 13, a teen series, and they have one that's called, they just had it come out, called Conspiracy Theories That Aren't, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's really good, and we just started all that. So
you ever watch the kid show Blippy?
No.
It's this dude. So my nephew, my great nephew, yeah, I'm that old. It's like his favorite show. And so my niece comes over, Autumn came over, and she put it on. This dude was like weird. It looks like a Saturday Night Live skit. It's this guy, and he's doing a kid show, and he like rents out the Chuck E. Cheese and goes in there and like plays and stuff and talks to the kids. And I'm like, I thought this was like some like creepy thing. I've seen it, on YouTube. And she's like, no, it's for kids, and he lives his favorite show, and he loves it, blah blah. And then he's like, well, he was a former, gay porn star, and he started making this YouTube channel for for his nephew or something. And now the dude's like a major bajillionaire. His videos have like tens of millions of views. Let me see.
11 hours, Jim.
What is it? Blimp?
And thank you for my hair compliment, Fiva.
You see, is it Blippy? Blippy, it is. Is it Blippy?
Blippy or Blimpy?
Blippy.
Blippy.
I think it is. 18 million subscribers. I think this is the guy.
I got 5,000, 6,000 subscribers. This guy's got 18 million because he runs around the Chuck E. Cheese. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to tell people the truth about important things. What's wrong with people?
Either this guy's.
I'm gonna go run around a Chuck E. Cheese.
It's because either copying him or it's him.
It's insane to me.
Yeah, this is him. It's him or it's a copy.
Well, it can't be a. Oh God. Oh. That scared the crap out of me.
Yeah. A blue ball. Like when he says blue balls, it just feels off to me. And then Autumn's like, well, he was a gay.
Hi, everyone. I think I'm on and Sean kicked himself off.
Where'd you go?
He's back. You left.
Yeah,
I stayed.
I can't talk about the all-powerful Blippy.
Oh my goodness!
Then I went on Spotify because his songs were stuck in my head. It's like 15 albums. I mean, and then some of his videos have like 30 million views. I'm like, do you know how much money he got in ad revenue for this one video? I said he got like $300,000. It's crazy. I don't know how we got on the subject of.
I don't know. That's bizarre to me.
Yeah, but the fact that he was a former gay porn star, I thought was.
Oh
God, I thought that was really weird.
Why, or isn't like the same thing with who's the pervert, Pee Wee Herman or whatever?
Yeah, well, we didn't know he was a pervert till later.
Oh, so he was a kid. So he was a kid star first and then a pervert?
Yeah, it was after the show.
Then he was a pervert.
Then he got caught in the movie theater, yeah.
Oh.
Which that's back when you had to go to porno theaters, Now, everything's
you can be a pervert in private.
Yeah. Which I don't know how you would raise kids nowadays with everything that's out there. It's just everything's so accessible.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, we have been told.
Now I'm properly depressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am a little, but
thanks, Sean.
It was good hanging out with you.
Oh man. All right. Well,
I hope everyone had a good week. Hope everyone has an awesome week. What are you doing for Halloween?
I don't celebrate Halloween. It's satanic. I am celebrating my birthday later this week.
Lisa, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lisa.
Yeah. Yeah, you sent me that.
Me and Ted always give candy, and
No, I will not be doing any of that
I always
Saturday.
give full-size bars. I have for years. Last year, I was doing very well with crypto, and I gave 2 full-size bars. This year, I might have to get a loan or something for the candy. I don't know what I'm going to do. And yeah, it just freaks me out a little, you know. But I've told you about Idiocracy. You know the movie Idiocracy.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
Okay.
Years ago.
I don't know if you remember this, but in the movie, everyone wears these shoes that are ridiculous and like stupid, and they were real shoes.
Okay, so Cannon showed me this is going around. He goes, "If you've seen these big shoes, it's going around on the internet." And have you seen them?
Where are they?
If you search big red shoes, and then Paris Hilton wore some yellow ones, and they're like from the red ones are from something called Astro Boy or something like this, and they're like croc material, but they're like looks like a cartoon, and people are actually wearing them. They're like boots, and
Big red
they're ridiculous.
Boy fashion.
Yes, it's ridiculous, and I can't believe people are wearing this. It looks ridiculous.
Astro Boy boot, yeah. Well, so anyway, the movie, it wanted everyone to wear these shoes, and one of the producers like, look at this shoe, it's freaking stupid. This is the dumbest looking shoe ever. Make everyone wear these shoes, and he's like, well, what if it's a real company? What if they do well? He goes, this is gonna fail. There's no way people are gonna want to wear this. It's the dumbest looking thing I've ever seen. Everyone wore the shoe. Guess what the shoe is? It was Crocs. In the movie, the dumbest thing they could find, the weirdest shoe, it was Crocs. And everyone talks about how we're living in idiocracy. And when I heard that, that was like, that was just blew my mind that it was Crocs. And everyone's wearing Crocs. We're devolving.
It's got electrolytes.
Yeah, it's Bronco. It's what plants crave. Yeah, that.
You should put water on it. You mean like from the toilet?
Yeah. Oh man, it is.
Oh,
it's not. It's not that far fetched, man.
I know.
It's not that far fetched.
I know.
Which
it's
is
sad.
It is. It really is. All right. Well, you guys take care. We'll see you next week.
I'll see you Thursday.
Yes. Well, yeah. Check us out.
I should be able to wait. Yeah, we're traveling. But I should be able to Thursday morning.
That's cool. You can jump on. Y'all take care. Have a good rest of your week.
Bye.